Can you just, in simple terms, break down what exactly is H1B, what exactly is EB1A for someone who doesn't know?
Yes. So I'm going to give you like a US Visa 101 here, right? And for all practical purposes, I need to let people know that I'm not an attorney. I'm not an immigration attorney, so this is not legal advice. So don't follow what I say and then So see, in the US, there are two types of visas generally. There's the non-immigrant visas, and then there's the immigrant visas, right? So non-immigrant visas are visas intended for you to temporarily be there. It could be your B1, B2 traveler, like a visitor visa. It could be student visa, which is F1. It could be your H1B, which is the work visa. All these are, non-immigrant intent type visas. Then there is another set of visas which is called immigrant visas, and the nickname for immigrant visas is a green card. The official name is immigrant visa or permanent resident status, lawful LPR, lawful permanent resident. But then the nickname is green card because the card used to look green and it still looks green, and that's how the nickname got derived. So these are the two broad areas. Now the thing with the green cards is that there is a set quota of how many green cards the US can give in a year. So even within green cards, there are two ways to get a green card in the US. One is through a family path, that's family based. The other one is employment based. Family based, most Indians don't really go after like the family based because most are necessarily like going to the US for employment, and that's how their story continues. So within the employment based, there are a bunch of different tiers. There's employment based first preference, that's the EB1. Then there's second, third, which is the EB2, EB3. Then there's EB4 and EB5. So EB5 is the investor visa, where you invest like $800,000 or something like that, and you can get a green card. EB2 and EB3 are the most crowded green card paths because Indians mostly apply for that. Companies mostly apply for that on behalf of Indians and any other people, any other nationalities essentially. EB3 is where you need to have you need to be a high skill talent essentially, and then EB2 is essentially where you need to have like an advanced degree, like a master's or something, which most people end up having after going to the US. So those are the most crowded paths. EB1 is a special path within which there are three subcategories. The EB1A is for extraordinary ability, people with extraordinary ability.
You got EB1A.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And a lot of people don't know this, but that's Melania Trump, that's Einstein. All of these people kind of made use of this path to get their green cards. And the nickname for EB1A is the Einstein visa. So there are a bunch of the bar is very high. You need to satisfy. You need to prove. We can get into that. You need to prove a bunch of things to the government.
What are those bunch of things?
So there are 10 criterias. Either you will have to have won like an Nobel Prize or an Olympic medal or something, that one-time achievement award. If you have that, then you will qualify for the EB1A. If you don't have that, then the government has set up like 10 criterias, out of which you need to meet a minimum of 3. Those are like, you should have won some sort of a lesser nationally known award, some sort of memberships you should have in high tier, institutions or associations. You should have judged the work of others, and you should play some critical role in your workplace. Also, your salary should be like at the top of the field. There are other things like you should have appeared in a lot of press, or the media should have covered you or your work. There's also if you write papers in your field as a thought leader and publish it in places where there is a review committee which vets your work before publishing, that is also valid. Then there's other ways to show that you have had a major there's other ways to show that you have had like an original contribution in the field. So these are kind of around 8 criteria, and then there are like 2 more, which is like commercial success. Your work should have a lot of commercial success, and your work should be featured as part of like major exhibitions and stuff like that. Mostly that's for artists. You should have satisfied like at least 3 of. Essentially, if you look at these criteria, what they are trying to filter out is that you should be the best of the best in what you do. That's a magnet to attract the best of the best people in the world. So that's EB1A. Then there's EB1B and C, which is mostly for like multinational managers and outstanding researchers. The beauty about the EB1A is that it's not tied to an employer. The EB1A is self-sponsored. Nobody even needs a job offer technically. You don't need an employer. Almost every other green card category needs an employer. So what happens at that point is that you become overly dependent on the employer. Then the employer has the cards, right? Like they play the cards, and if the employer, God forbid, lays you off, then you have to, if you join a new place, you have to restart that from scratch. And you might be like several years into the process, and then again you start from scratch, so it's a very painful experience for people, very psychologically draining experience for people. And I'm happy that our company, which is Smart Green Card, is able to help a lot of people, succeed in this journey.
So what achievements you had when you applied for the EB1A green card?
So when I was working at Tesla, I was working on technologies that were very important to the US, and it still is a priority to the US, and it was one of the most advanced companies in the field back then. And me writing about that, being a thought leader about the electric vehicle space, about the self-driving space, and within that I worked on battery technology. Especially within battery technology, I worked on the manufacturing of batteries. And within that, I worked in the building of robots and the essential equipment on the line that needs to manufacture, that is needed to manufacture a certain type of battery pack. So you see how like there's a very specific expertise that was required in order to have a good thought leadership in that space eventually. So this is what I tell people also most of the time is like, if you are a software engineer, or if you are even CS, for example, or people who are experts in accounting, they also can go after the EB1. It's not only restricted for technical people, but the funda is that you have to be a very specific expert in a very specific thing, and there can be a small number of people in that, and you are one among that. That is what you have to prove.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.